Hey, welcome to the Pharmacy Residency Podcast, a member of the Pharmacy Podcast Network, where we go over the motivations, mindsets, and methods for succeeding in residency and residency applications. I want to talk specifically today about the cover letter and an offer I wanted to make to a couple of you guys. I have a pretty good following, apparently. I get emails quite often, and I get thank yous whether I worked one-on-one with people or not. But I think a lot of people are a little concerned, like, what does that one-on-one working with do? What's different than me just going to my writing lab at school? Well, the first thing is that if you're one of those schools that is just a pharmacy school, you might not even have a writing lab to help you. But second, that writing lab won't know if you used templates from other places and won't know to kind of warn you that, hey, that's going to make it look really generic if you put, I want to express my interest and things like that. And I've seen actually professors say, oh, you absolutely want to even start with those exact words because those exact words are part of a letter of intent. And I disagree with that. I don't think that it is. I think that you want to have something original, that these poor residents and RPDs are going through hundreds of these letters. Please give them something to latch on to, something to hold on to, something that's somewhat more exciting. But if you want me to edit something for free, you're basically going to give me permission to do this. And you would have to be pretty, not is bold the right word? But you would have to have a pretty good sense of self to be able to accept this kind of criticism. And it's not criticism in the way of bad, this is really bad. It's just saying, yeah, this is really what you want to do, and this is where you missed it. And I think that this would be really fun to do. So anyway, if you want to send me your letter at tonythepharmacist@gmail.com, I will pick a couple. And what I want to do is get kind of a round number of, some that are academic medical center, some that are maybe community, ambulatory care is popular, or maybe even someone trying for a PGY2 or something like that. And I can take away the personal identifiers like who you are, but it really, I was thinking about this. I was like, can I take it away where I actually take the site away? And the answer is probably not. So I would have to put the actual site there. And you could even tell them, hey, I really didn't know how to articulate my value. I really wanted to articulate my value. Just letting you know, I'm on Tony's podcast, or Tony put me on this thing where he kind of showed people that, and I wanted to do this to help other people that were also doing the same thing that I was. And it actually is a real show of courage and character that you would be that courageous to do it. When I do the normal editing and everything, it is no one's business. I don't share with anyone who I edit and where they go and all of those things. But with this, to do it properly, you would have to actually put the site, because I need the site and the website to make this work. But also, you could do this in the reverse too, where if you're a site and you had a particularly good letter, I can remove the person's name and I can show you what could have even improved it even more. Or you want to show what a letter that really didn't work would look like. So that could work too. But what I want to do is I want to put the offer out there. If someone wants me to help them with their letter, I will edit up to one letter for free if you agree to let me kind of put it out there that, these are the things that you would want to change and improve and how you do it. And then I would kind of go over some of the Grammarly tools that I use. Now, I use Super Grammarly, which is the paid version. So that, it's just the polish that I put on at the end. So although I get most of the stuff already, everyone that I do a letter for is going to be in the high 90s with Grammarly. And there are some times where I don't change things, even though Grammarly advises me to. Some of them are just wrong. Sometimes that happens. That's rare, but it happens maybe one or two times a letter. But the other times are especially with passive voice. So there are times where you would use passive voice. You just don't want to use a lot of it. But there are times where you might say a patient was admitted rather than saying we admitted a patient. And, saying we admitted a patient is kind of making you a little too much in the process. You're not really, at the entrance doing triage and admitting the patient. So it makes sense that, the patient was admitted or something like that. But otherwise, you really do want to use active voice. And I do want to do this with real ones. So it's Giving Tuesday. I'll be happy to do this for you. Just send your courage and your Word document letter to tonythepharmacist@gmail.com. And I'll do this probably today or tomorrow and get it done really quickly. So the turnaround will be pretty quick, 24 to 48 hours at most. And when it comes down to my letters, I think 3 days is about the longest it takes me to work with one letter. And when I say that, I mean, I've sent you something back within those 3 days, but there could be back and forth, and that would take longer. So if in the beginning, really, we missed the mark, then we might have to do some back and forth. But in general, I'm pretty good at getting it back in 2 or 3 days. So anyway, hope you take me up on this challenge, tonythepharmacist@gmail.com. Send me your letter of intent with something that says, I give you permission to carve up my letter, go for it, make it better. I really want to become a resident, and I'm willing to do this. So have a happy Giving Tuesday, and I will talk to you guys soon.